This is Magic More, the party spark of the J team, 8-time extraordinaire, Decatur Raider.
This is your boy Chuck C from them Throwback Boys, Stacks on Deck, Zone 3 representative, and this is Atlanta Rap History.
You can't know where Atlanta's going if you don't first know your history. Listen,
I think Young Thug is unique in a lot of ways, and more than just musically. And the more I'm listening to Young Thug's stuff, the more I'm realizing just what a talent he actually is. There's a Prince thing there that I don't think folks really get. The folks my age, like if you're 20, I think you get Young Thug. Like I'm almost 50, and I had to look him up before I started writing about him.
Okay.
But Young Thug never got out of the street. Like, and I think in part because he didn't have the chance. Like he hit so fast and so cleanly, in the manner of speaking, that there wasn't enough of a transition period for him to pull himself and his crew away from the things that created the contacts both in the music industry and in the street that allowed him the rise that he had. And it's tragic in a lot of ways. Don't get me wrong, like based on the information that I'm seeing in the court and the evidence that's coming out, I mean, he's going to have a rough time right now. Like I wouldn't want to be his defense attorney, although he has very good defense attorneys.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this about that. One thing about it. Now, this whole thing coming to play that Fani Willis was one of the members' lawyer. You think that played any factor or anything?
No, I don't think it has a damn thing to do with anything. Like what I think, YSL Mondo, this is the guy that's out there talking about this. Right. I'm not trying to diss the guy. I'm just saying I don't know his real name. And he's gone out of his way to conceal his actual identity. And when people do that, I question whether or not everything they're telling me is true. Because they're deliberately making it hard to go and find what's true.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be video out, of her in the courtroom,
She definitely defended YSL Mondo. And I know this because a colleague of mine, whom I have not spoken with, interviewed YSL Mondo and asked Fani Willis about it, and she confirmed it. Like the thing is, like she's a professional attorney. Like there are no conditions under which she would put her bar license up to protect somebody or go out of her way to indict somebody, like just because they were associated with some other group of people whom police believe committed crimes. Like it's irrelevant. Like this guy knows that guy, and she defended this guy, and therefore she must like this other guy. I mean, that's just not how the law works.
Right. But just the fact he wasn't, I don't know if he was known as a member at the time or leader, part founder of YSL at the time when she was defending him, but just the fact that he wasn't even indicted.
Let me just say that I've been looking around at who's been named over the course of the years and years. Like there are seven going on 8 years of investigative records that you can look at when you're looking at warrants and looking at indictments and looking at trial transcripts. They've got all the folks that they believe led this thing indicted one way or another. And the ones who aren't are in jail. I don't know who the hell YSL Mondo is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, speaking of Miss Fani, do you think that she is using this as a stepping stone to further her career, or is this a serious problem that needs to be addressed and focused and spending a lot of taxpayers' money on?
Why not both? Like, I think it's really that simple. I think it is both. I think it's exactly both. Fani Willis, look, Fani Willis had no idea when she was running for district attorney that Donald Trump was going to do stupid crap, like in a way that would require her to go and take him into a special grand jury. Like she had it hadn't happened yet. She knew all about the YSL stuff because she was a gang prosecutor through all of that stuff up until 2018. And so it isn't unreasonable for somebody who's challenging a sitting district attorney to tell the public, look, hey, I'm going to bring new cases that haven't been brought to trial that the other guy hasn't because he's been slacking. And and ultimately that's what happened. Like she gets elected. She knows all the gang stuff that's been piling up. And I saw the piles.
My point exactly. Yeah.
Like I came in, I went to go talk to her a few months after she got elected. And because I know her public affairs guy, we go back a ways. And so I'm walking through the hallways and there are piles of like cardboard boxes filled with case files 6 feet high through all the hallways of the 3rd floor of the courthouse where the district attorney's office are, because they hadn't been able to clear the backlog because they'd been piling up for 5 and 10 years because her predecessor couldn't figure out how to clear a case.
Wow.
Like the first thing that Fani Willis did. So here's what was going on. Like just so that you fully understand what was going on at the district attorney's office. Paul Howard was running an office that was running people out of his office. Normally, like if you're a prosecutor, you've just finished law school, you're trying to make your bones in the world, and you go find somebody who will hire you as a lawyer. And as often as not, you're trying to go be a prosecutor for a little while if you want to do criminal law. Like you have to work at a district attorney's office and build that experience so that when you become a private defense attorney, you've got experience on the other side of the court.
Okay. Right. And they do that all the time.
So the thing is, like normally getting a job at the Fulton County is like, that's the big job. If you're in Georgia, that's the job you want because you get all of these crazy ass cases that never show up anywhere else. Like all the crazy gang stuff, like lots and lots of murders all day long, like big high profile, like bank robberies and kidnappings and all sorts of other stuff that small district prosecutors never see. Right. So normally you want to be there for as long as you can get away with it until you go work someplace else. But in his case, people were quitting there in like 18 months and 2 years and 3 years because they couldn't stand working for Paul Howard because everything was just that screwed up. And she was one of them. And she quit in 2018 or 2016, I think. Ran for a judge seat, didn't make it, ran for like district attorney saying, look, I worked there. I understand exactly how screwed up it is. Get this guy out of there so that we can fix it. And all of the other defense attorneys, like in Atlanta, were like, you're right. We get it. Paul Howard sucks. Like, we're going to back you. I mean, and it was a big deal. Like, you don't throw out an incumbent, like, for nothing. Like, so she's had to make good on all of that by killing these prosecutions. That's part of the reason why she dropped the YFN first and Lucci and then Young Thug. It's because she knew that stuff was in there, like when she ran, and was like, I got to get that out. That's the worst of the worst. I've got to pull that out and get it prosecuted as fast as I can. Because this Trump stuff is about to eat up all of the rest of my air.